Hello, everyone. It's great to be with you again for another episode of Facts, Initiatives, and Results. I'm very pleased to talk with you today about a wonderful success for our university. This past Wednesday, we announced that we have exceeded our $75 million Imagine Unlimited campaign goal by more than $6 million and 6 months ahead of schedule, raising $81.36 million to support our university. Khatmeh Osseiran-Hanna, our Vice President for University Advancement, is here with me today, and we're going to talk about the Imagine Unlimited campaign and what it means for the university. There have been many steps and milestones along the way of this campaign, but I'd highlight especially that in April 2018, we announced the campaign goal being raised from $40 million to $75 million. And the work has been incredible, although I think it's fair to say it's been both a marathon and a sprint, with much of the momentum, much of the pace set by our donors and our volunteers. I've had the honor and pleasure of working closely with Vice President Osseiran-Hanna and her team, meeting with alumni and friends across the country, before the pandemic, of course. And we saw firsthand the passion and dedication that these incredible people have for IUP. Donors have been honored to be part of Imagine Unlimited and to help change the lives of our students for now and for the future. They tell us how giving back to IUP has changed their lives, as we tell them how their generosity has changed the lives of our students. There are so many great stories that I could tell you about those interactions. Let me just say that I remember meeting with folks who hadn't been connected, hadn't been back at IUP for decades, saying how impressed they were with the work that we're doing and how they wanted to make sure that their IEP experience was something that students could experience in the future. And that was why they wanted to share from their success for not just today's students, but tomorrow's students as well. Certainly, we have heard from our students, and that what they say is that those scholarships are life-changing. Certainly, just as an example, we have wonderful support from Bill and Audrey Madia, who are co-chairs of the Imagine Unlimited Campaign Council. And they helped a student, Isaac Dewar, who grew up in a single-parent household near Pittsburgh. And their scholarship for him helped Isaac concentrate on his dual physics and applied mathematics major instead of also working a 40-hour-a-week job in addition to his classes and his other outside the classroom work. He said, "This scholarship has made it much easier. It covers the necessities so I can take care of myself." Great story. Isaac's a great person. We also heard from donors like Stephen Abel, a 1973 graduate, whose donation to the Veterans Assistance Fund enabled Marine Corps veteran Vernon Ledbetter, a Gettysburg native who is majoring in geography and regional planning. He was enabled by the scholarship to continue his studies at IUP after he finished his military service. To sum it up, more than 7,700 students have received direct support through scholarships that are part of the campaign. Many of those scholarships are renewable, and thousands more students will be impacted in the future. We've also heard from the 460 plus students who receive support from the Emergency Relief Fund that we're now calling the Student Assistance Fund. Donations to that fund generated more than $437,000 as of February 1. There were more than 3,000 donors involved, and the funds are helping to pay living expenses or some of the extras like nursing kits for our students so that they could continue their studies. It's great stuff. Don't you agree, Khatmeh?
Absolutely. No question, these stories keep our eyes on the prize, helping our students. Our campaign priorities, as I think everybody knows, reflect our university-centered focus. Leadership through athletics competition, of course, got more than $6.3 million. And the future of science and mathematics, the real cornerstone of how this campaign started, total raised in that area was more than $38 million. And remember, we broke grounds for the new mathematics and natural science building, Kopchak Hall, this past September. And that building, because of the match that we did for it, is over $90 million. And that's an incredible feat. The Department of General Services is matching $80 million. Of course, academic excellence and innovation and student success and engagement, preparing students for leadership with new and innovative programming and experiences, which means providing scholarships and research opportunities to work with faculty as well. That's really important to underscore. Received more than 36 million, almost $37 million. And as you mentioned, President Driscoll, that means it impacted more than 7,700 students. This is really important. And as we move forward, endowed scholarships that were established with gifts of $25,000 or more to allow for long-term scholarship support for qualified students have increased by more than 17% in only the last 3 years, from 433 endowed scholarships to 508 endowed scholarships. That just bodes so much importance to the future generations of students at IUP. And current use scholarships, which means immediate use, also increased by 7%, with 17 new immediate use scholarships, again, in the past 3 years. That's pretty voluminous for what we're doing. The campaign reflects obviously a true community effort, broad-based support at all levels with more than 300 active volunteers throughout the country. And I mean really active volunteers, not just the name on paper, people that actually write, oak notes to prospective students, to admitted students to bring them in, and send-offs to those that have deposited, wishing them well as they come to the university. And I am reminded to mention that this campaign could not have been successful without the leadership at IUP, from cabinet to the dean's involvement, to the faculty, to the chairs. It's really important to highlight how everyone in the IUP family was part and parcel of this campaign. And the students. Students have been an amazing part of this campaign. So I need to mention that 22,000 gifts of less than $25,000 were made. And they're not just gifts, they're unique donors who made this as part of the campaign. And our average gift has gone up from a very small amount to 84.5%, amazingly, from 2015 to 2020. And we had in student giving alone an increase in 171% and quadrupling the number of student participants in giving. I think this is really important. And the campaign is also unique in a number of firsts. We far exceeded all previous campaigns by $60 million. The $14 million Gateways to Opportunity campaign for IUP concluded in 2006, which raised $21.7 million. So today, or this week, when we announced the $81.6 million, is an amazing feat for the largest campaign in history for IUP and all the universities in the PASHI system. And we met goals 6 months earlier. Again, that is an incredible feat. This also created an incredible growth in our endowment that has risen by 36% increase from 60 million back in 2015 to nearly $82 million today. Again, that's a signal of financial health in terms of where we're going in, in the way we work for students and aspirational goals for the university. Um, and as I mentioned before, the cabinet, President Driscoll, and our staff from throughout the campus have played a major leadership role here, making their own donations and some very major leadership donations to the campaign to illustrate the commitment and belief in our students and the campaign. And our donors see that and really feel how important our investment day in, day out in what we do for our university, our community, and our students. And highlighting in particular Dean Snavely with what she has done with Kopchak Hall, Dean Luca Hans with Sabatka Learning Center and the Sheeran Literacy Center, and everything else with their advancement councils in particular throughout the campaign has been remarkable and truly appreciated by all of us. And as President Driscoll said, it's been both a marathon and a sprint. Work has been ongoing since 2014-15, doing research in the quiet phase of the campaign, but the groundwork has been laid for decades. IUP has changed the lives of its graduates for the better and created incredible passion and dedication to this university. Momentum for the Imagine Unlimited really picked up when we announced our new goal and the 23 million gift from Dr. Shar and John Kopchak, the university's largest single gift in history in April 2018. We saw the campaign lit a fire for donors. December 2020 rally for the campaign resulted in gifts of almost $6 million to meet the goal by December 21st, 2020. These are true pride points to meet this goal 6 months early and then exceed it so significantly. There are many reasons for the success of this campaign, but we saw that student-centered focus really resonated with the donors, especially alumni who struggled financially, while students here know that IUP changed their lives. They wanted to make better for today and in the future. So this is really what has happened in the last few years. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the staff in particular who are committed in university advancement to make all of this work.
Thank you, Khatmeh. Certainly the campaign complements and enables IUP's strategic plan of being a student-centered university. Scholarships are a big part of that. But another significant part of our student-centered focus is to provide all those extras that help set our graduates up for success. Experiences of all sorts that prepare them for their career and personal success, things that they could not afford to do on their own. Just as a couple of examples, the part of the gift from the Kopchaks funds a research internship at MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston. A student spends time there working with the researchers on challenging issues of cancer and cures. It's a wonderful experience. All sorts of additional equipment and other sort of enhancements are happening in Kopchak Hall. And I do want to highlight some really wonderful work that will enhance diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts for all of our students in the future. The CICA's, Tim and Deb's giving, includes specific funding for diversity and inclusion programming, a gift of $350,000 that's already providing support for great programming for all of our students, for research, for training. There's an upcoming event funded by that, I think it's on March 17th, that will feature some of our diverse alumni who are on the top of their fields. Also, we have a number of scholarships specifically designed to help students of color. I'll just highlight a couple. There's a very long list. We have an African American Alumni Scholarship Fund. Thank you to our alum who have been funding that. That's open to students in all of our majors. And I would also like to highlight the Millward Scholarship for male African-American future educators, which is open to male students of color. And the goal is to help increase the number of African-American males who are teaching in K-12. It's a wonderful thing that impacts generations of students. There are many, many more scholarships on the list. Let me just stop with those. They illustrate the point. This campaign continues to position IUP for a great future and to fund important additional initiatives that our students need and deserve. But I have to be clear that it's not about budget relief. Vice President Fitzsimmons and I talked last week about the budget. The funds that come in from donors are targeted to specific projects, all great things, enhancements, but they really don't change the need for us to continue with the sustainability work that we're doing. So as we celebrate these wonderful things that the campaign will bring for our students, remember that we still have other work to do. Khatmeh, you may want to talk a little bit more about where we're at, and then we'll wrap things up. Thanks.
Yes, thank you. The theme of the campaign, Imagine Unlimited, is not just something we took from our own thinking. It's what we heard from donors. Donors set the tone for the campaign as well. Our alumni, our friends, our employees believe in IUP, and they also have high aspirations for our university and for our students. They want to be part of helping IUP and our graduates to change the future. Major donors, even donors who give $100 or less, really are interested in seeing where IUP is going and the permanence of our university. For example, the Kopchek $23 million gift is about today, about helping students today, but it's also about the future. A lot of it is an endowment and the aspirations that John and Shar have for IUP and for our students. He knows, John in particular, that students can change the world. For him, it's like he changed the world with his research and discovery of a drug that can combat acromegaly, a growth hormone disorder. I know I might have mispronounced that, but that's really important, you know, for them as children of first generation students, of children of coal miners who came here, got an incredible education, and went on to change the world. And this is what our donors want to do. And anyone who participates with us and engages with us want to do. So donors know that the university is facing challenging times, but they believe in IUP and its ability to move forward. And they demonstrated that not just in words, in action, and they continue to do so every day with lifetime earnings, whether through their bequests, their charitable remainder trust, their charitable lead trust, all of those things. They're giving us millions of dollars in that way. So they believe that we will do the work and have to create a more financially sustainable university.
Thank you, Khatmeh. I just have one more question for you as we're getting to the end of our time together today. I know that you're not a person who stands still, not even in a pandemic. So what's next for IUP?
No, absolutely. We don't stand still. We don't sit on our laurels. We are taking time to celebrate and to thank our donors and our volunteers and to thank all of our people who have been engaged with us. And, you know, this is a proud moment for all of IUP. So all of us, we need to take a moment and as I say, celebrate, breathe. The pandemic has had its toll on all of us. But we are thinking about our next steps, looking at our strategic plan and IUP Next Gen and how our campaign and everything that we do in university advancement, from engagement of our external constituencies and everybody outside, can complement those plans and how we can help advance IUP. Actively planning for our 150th anniversary. It's in 2025, that's right around the corner. So while we will be launching our public phase of the next campaign at that time. So a lot of good work is going to be happening in determining our next priorities. Thank you.
Khatmeh, that's incredible. I just want to take the moment to thank you for your incredible leadership and to thank your team and you and the entire IEP family for the incredible results. And it certainly is a time to celebrate. So let's get to that. Thank you so much. We'll see folks again soon in another edition of our work. Take care.